I'm recording, madam. Never give me a beat, eh?
Pardon?
Give me a beat. 5, 4, 3, 2, beat.
Okay.
But take your own cue because I'm going to play the music. So.
Okay. Boom, 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 boom. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. You're down the line for 20 bucks. Keep on playing. That's what he's saying. Hi guys. Jabor. Hi. They're right, you know, 20 bucks it buys nothing these days. You go in the grocery store, you've got a few items in your basket, and you look at the till and think, oh, I can't have spent that much. Anyway, enough of the moaning. Welcome to my kitchen, Mrs. Calabash Cooks and Maggie. And today it's cold and drizzly. Ooh, it snows on and off, and then it's damp. It's a cold, damp day. So I thought we'd have something to cheer the soul today. So I'm going to make some chili with chocolate. Now this is a little bit different. Add chocolate to meat, any meat, and it brings out the flavour. You don't sweet chocolate, semi-sweet dark chocolate, and it just brings out the richness of the meat. And then to go with that, I thought I'd do a cheese, herb and cornbread muffin. A little bit different. So here I've got 2 eggs beaten, a cup of milk. I do have a little more milk on the side there, just in case, because it's very easy to miss when you're pouring liquids in. If you look at it from the top here, you think, yeah, I've got it. But you should really get down to eye level like that to see exactly the amount of milk amount of liquid. So I've got eggs, milk, and I'm just whisking in a little grapeseed oil. And these are really quick and easy to make. So let's have a look, see what I've got in this bowl. I've got some nice sharp cheese. In there I've got some grated Irish cheddar, which has got a nice sharpness to it. But it's entirely up to you which cheese you use. But you do need something with a little bit of tartness to it. A nacho cheese or something like that is great. So in here I've got the flour, powdered mustard, cornmeal, my herb, and a little sugar and baking powder. Now all this just needs whisking up together. I've got dried parsley in there today, but you can put mixed herbs in. It's entirely up to you. So all that's just mixed in. Add the cheese. And now this is where I go wrong when I'm making muffins, because I tend to overmix. So we just want to mix very, very lightly. There we are. We need just to make sure that all the flour is mixed in there. There we are. And I've got muffin tins which are lined. I've got the oven on at 400. So I find this an easier way to, rather than use a scoop. And you need to fill the muffin tins about 3/4 full. And it should make round about a dozen, depending on the size of the muffin tins. Yeah, look at it. I'll have to take that off because that'll burn. I do have, oh, come on, what is that? They're attracted, look at it, attracted to my, I'm making a mess, aren't I? You know what, let's get that off first. Because this will just burn on, and then it's an awful job to get it off. Speaking from experience. There we are. Let's just clean up as we go along. Put these back. As I was saying, I do have a little muffin tin with six cups in there, just in case I need any more. Turn it towards you so that you're not reaching over. This is a nice, simple meal. Christmas is coming and time is getting short. And especially if you're working, you've got firms, dues, family to look after, food to organise, and the weather's cold. And you really don't want to be spending too long getting supper ready. Or if you're off on a Saturday evening is always a good meal, but you don't want to be spending hours cooking. You've had a rough week at work. You just want to be able to relax by a fire, if you're lucky enough to have one, with a bottle of nice red wine, a chilli, and some corn muffins. There we are. You see, it's just taken 12. And these are quick enough, actually, to make for brunch. If you're having a brunch, way up the night before, like I did, put everything in the bowl, and then just slip them in the oven before people arrive. I've made a mess here, look. Let's just take that one out. There we are. So I've got the oven on at 400. We're going to slip those into the oven now. And they will take about 10 to 15 minutes. So, I'm going to rinse my hands. Now for the chili, let me just put that on. I've already cooked the bacon. There we are. I cooked the bacon, and you can either add this to the chili, or I'm going to put it on the top when we've for decoration when we finish. So I'll just put it over here, because if I don't, I'll forget about it. Totally forget about it. I've got a memory like a sieve at the moment. So for this, I just actually I cook the onions in the bacon fat. So I just put the onions in, just to save time. And they absorb the flavour of the bacon. You can, I've used pork bacon today, but if you're making this with chicken, because you can make this with, I'm making it with ground beef today, but there's nothing to stop you making this with chicken or turkey. And ground chicken or turkey. In that case, use a chicken bacon, some slices of the chicken bacon. And instead of using beef stock, use a chicken stock. So they're coming up to heat. That's the onions and the garlic. I cook the onions nice and slowly. They don't brown too much. And as they brown, all the flavour, the sweetness of the onions come out. Ground beef. So we're going to add the ground beef. Break it down with your spoon, like that. Just turn it down. We want to brown it but not burn it. Now, in here, look, I've got my spices. I've got cumin. I've got cumin, chili powder and dried oregano. I bought some new chili powder because mine was quite old, and I normally make my own, but I didn't, so I'm not quite sure how hot it is. So we're going to put it in now with the beef so that we can just saute the spice with the beef, and this brings out, it gets all the nice spiciness to come out, and it doesn't taste raw. But this particular chili is one where you can cook it as long as you like, or it can be ready in 15 minutes. We're aiming for the 15-minute one today. So the beef is almost cooked through. You can see it's nice and brown. It smells delightful. And I've got a can of diced tomatoes. Ugh, look, everything's going wrong. Let's put it there. And going to heat the tomatoes up. And you need the juice with this. You need the juice. The tomatoes with the juice. And I was really, really pleased to find these in the local store. And these are red kidney beans. And you say, ha, everybody's got red kidney beans. But look, the little red kidney beans. I don't like big red kidney beans, but I love these little ones. And I've not been able to find them for years. And so I was really quite pleased with that yesterday when I went shopping. So we put the kidney beans in. Now, if you don't want to do red kidney beans, sometimes when I'm making a chili, I'll put a can of mixed bean in there. That's coming up, cooking nicely. That's the chocolate, and that is a semi-sweet. I had semi-sweet in. I either use semi-sweet or dark, the really dark chocolate. I'd got, I was making something like this with I had a children's class, and I had 5 little autistic boys in the class, and one would chop, so I could give him all the onions to chop, and one would, he hated to get his hands dirty. I couldn't get him to make a pizza or anything, and we were making this. I had about 12 or 15 kids, and we're making a chili like this, but they wanted the chocolate. So I thought, right, taste it. So I said, okay, taste the chocolate. You can each have a piece of chocolate. Oh, good. you know, all excited till they tasted it. And everybody dashed to the garbage can and sort of, oh, no, don't like that. I said, well, I did tell you it wasn't eating chocolate. But they didn't listen. They didn't want to know. But they enjoyed the chili. And that was quite something, because this particular little boy, his diet was very, he would only eat certain things. And I got him, his mum was delighted. She used to sit outside. I said, no, don't come in, just sit outside. I'd had him for years. I'd taught him for quite a few years, so he knew me and he trusted me. And we got him to eat all sorts of different foods, new experiences, and he was gorgeous. So this is just some beef stock, which we're going to put in there. Now, I am going to taste this because we haven't got any salt in there, no pepper, only chili powder. So I'm going to bring that up to the boil. We can add some seasoning later. There's a drop of stock left over. There we are. So let's just taste this. Now, it's cut, you can see it's boiling. So we're going to turn that down. And that tastes of nothing, quite honestly. So let's put a little salt and pepper in it. These are flavour enhancers. The salt is a flavour enhancer. Let's put some salt in. But that just tastes of absolute nothing. The chili powder obviously isn't a very strong chili powder. It's a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, I've got just a top here. I'm going to put another spoonful of chili powder in, and I'm going to add a little cayenne pepper to that. So I added about half a spoon of cayenne pepper. So let's mix the two together. That should do it. Might need a little more salt, but we could leave that until it's cooked a little bit more, because as it cooks, the flavour of the salt will come out. It's better. It definitely needs a little more salt, but it's got a bite to it. Oh yeah. Doesn't, the taste buds, they're not as salted as it goes in the mouth, but you can feel it as it goes down there. It warms your toes. Just what's needed on a day like today. Just a little salt. Let's just turn that down a little bit. Lovely. There's nothing like a pot of good chili on a day like this. When, I think it was for my 60th birthday, yes it was, my kids came over from England. So my son came over with his girlfriend, my daughter came over, I had friends over from Kingston and my daughter here with family, and I'd hired a sleigh at Upper Canada Village, and because you can do that, it wasn't expensive, and so there was a whole cavalier of cars driving up to Upper Canada Village, and we'd not had much snow that year. We'd not had much snow at all. And as we set off in the horse-drawn sleigh, it started to snow. It was like fairyland. And Chris, my son, is we call him the fish doctor. He's a professor in Chile and oceology. And he was absolutely blown away and he said, look, I can catch the snowflakes. And he said, look, you can see everything it was that cold. You could see the snowflakes and it was magical. It's quite the experience to do that at Upper Canada Village. And it's not expensive to hire a sleigh like that. And I'd made a big pan of chili, so that when we got home, we got fresh bread and chili and some nice warm mulled wine, and everybody piled into I'd only got a little cottage, and we all piled into the living room with bowls of hot steaming chili and mulled wine, and it was a beautiful birthday, and that's what I did for my 60th. My 70th, I've had a party. What am I going to do for my 80th? Derek, what are we going to do for my 80th party?
Go to the moon.
Go to the moon? Nah, I don't think so. And I can't see me as an astronaut somehow. No. I used to think about it, but not. I don't think so, not anymore. Anyway, let's let this cook for a few minutes. As I say, you can let this cook for... That is actually cooked now, but I like to cook it a little bit longer for the flavours to mingle. And actually, if I'm making a chilli, it's like making a stew or a curry. It's better to make it the night before or the day before. Put it in the fridge, let it set, and then all the flavours mingle together. It's always better on the second day. And so I tend to put that on early in the morning, turn the back burner down, put the lid on, and just let it sit there. Very, very, very slowly. Let's have a look in the oven. No, not quite. Let's just turn it up a little bit. It's the oven's a little bit slow today, but they smell good. So let's go back to the stove and talk about decorations for the... I'm going to put that there, that's the bacon. Let's just talk about decorations for the muffins, because they look a little bit anemic. They're nice, but they've not got a lot of colour to them. And so I've got a colourful plate here, and I cut a tomato like that. Now this is really, really easy to do, because you have a tomato. Let's see if we can get it all just lined up like that. And then you just take a knife and zigzag, but make sure that you cut through the core. So we'll put some tomato on to add a little bit of colour. And what else have we got? We've got some, these are some peppers which, whoa, it doesn't want to sit there. In that case, look, if it doesn't want to do that, because these are quite pointy, just cut off that end like that so it sits in one place. We've got some peppers here which we grew in the garden. Some dill. What are these called?
Pickles.
Dill pickle. Yes, I know, but I'm just looking for the word. We call them gherkins in England, and I can't think what you call them over here. And so I like to make a fan like that. So we slice through, and we've got one here like that. slice through to the top, like that, and then you can fan it out. So we can fan the dills out a little bit, but you want it fairly thinly sliced through to the top. I think we can get another one out of that one. No, that's going to... But you have to go up nearly to the top, otherwise they won't work. And this is a little one. These are a little bit more tricky because they're a bit more, they're a little delicate. So there we are. Let's just go. And if you make a mistake, then you just chop them up and say, well, we've got chopped pickles. I might put that one, I think I'll save that one for the top of the curry, chili. And these are pickled little peppers. Now these are quite hot and spicy, so I don't know if I put these out for people to eat. I always warn that they're spicy. When I cook with them, I take the seeds out because they really, really were hot and spicy. But that's makes it look nice. And I might put these might put those on the chili. And for the chili, I've got some sour cream. Now, to accompany the chili, either pickles, sour cream. Sour cream just takes away, sour cream or yogurt. If it's really, really hot and spicy, and you don't like it so spicy, then the sour cream takes away the hotness and the burn. But I'm going to put a little paprika pepper on there. Now, paprika pepper won't add any heat, but it will just add a little bit of colour. So, tap the spoon. And I've got some herbs here which are growing in the dining room. So we'll put some parsley in there. Adds a nice little bit of colour. There we are. And maybe on here a little thyme over the tomatoes, because it's getting that time of the year, green and red for Christmas, especially with this snowy weather. It's really getting into the Christmas spirit. I think I've put that one on upside down. There we are. There we go. So let's just move that, and we've got a little bit of decoration for the chili. Let's go back and have a look and see how things are going on the stove. That has thickened up beautifully. Let's lift it up to show you. Look, the juice is beautiful and it's not greasy. This was extra lean ground beef that I used today. Now, when you're looking for the ground beef, the extra lean obviously doesn't have as much fat in it, and it's the fat which adds the flavour. So an extra lean ground beef won't be quite as flavoursome as a medium ground beef, but it's not as greasy. There's two ways of doing this. If you use a medium ground beef, you saw when we sautéed the meat with the onions and everything, then the fat will come out, and just pour that juice away. And that's where all the fat. Or the old-fashioned way of doing it is you made it the day before, let it sit, and the fat rises to the top, and you just skim it off. But then you get the flavour of the meat. But I have to watch my cholesterol. I'm a diabetic, as everybody knows, and the doctor was extremely pleased with my cholesterol this time. But I have to watch. So I did use lean ground beef this time. But I do like the other for the flavour. And anyway, there we are. If you want, and I don't know how easy it is to get in where we are, but if you're really, really watching your cholesterol and you want to eat a red meat, a bison, to make a bison with this, it's extremely dry meat, extremely low on the cholesterol, and it has a nice flavour. But we used to be able to get it. I could get it when we lived in Quebec, but I've not seen any around here locally just lately. But you could use a bison in there. I'm just going to get something to check the muffins. After all these years, I still don't trust myself when it comes to muffins, cakes. I still like a tester. So let's have a look, see how things are going. Oh, yes. Look. Let's try the tester. We'll use the largest one first. Look, it's come out clean. You can tell there's no little bits on the side. So let's put these on the plate. Turn that down for a few more minutes. My cooling rack, which I've had ever since I left culinary school. So that is years old. Now this is very hot, so don't put it down on your working surface unless you've got something under it. Let's see if I can get one out. Normally I would let these cool. Oh, there we are. So we've got one out. We'll put the others just around there like that. There we are. And we'll let these just cool. And these are the cheese muffins. You could put a little butter on there if you like. So much saying about not eating the cholesterol, you know. But a little butter, a little margarine. I prefer butter, and it is now we now have two ways of looking at it from the food value, that it's now saying that butter is better for you than a margarine because it's not man-made. So I go for the butter, but Derek only likes one lot of margarine. Only one make, would you believe? One make of margarine, and it won't eat butter. So there we go. So a final taste. A final taste. We'll get a clean spoon for a final taste. We will switch the oven off. I want to taste the sauce because that's where the seasoning is. And I'm just going to add, it's very spicy, it's lovely. It's spicy without burning, but it just needed that to bring out the extra little bit of flavour. I'll take this so we can scrape it out. Oh, there we are. I have my little pot, my little casserole. Look at that, steaming on a cold winter's day. Yay! Let me just get rid of this. And we need to decorate that. Because look, it looks a little bit insipid. So I'm going to sprinkle some bacon on the top. The rest of the bacon can be put out. A dill pickle. Which way round? Yeah, that way round. And just a couple of chili peppers just to make it look attractive. A little bit of parsley. There we are. And that is the curry. That is the chili. I've got curry on the brain today. So that's the chili. So to serve it, I will put a little sour cream with it. And this is the bowl I'm going to serve it on. So let's have a look. So we can put a muffin or a couple of muffins on the side, like that, to eat with the chili. Let's take the decoration off, should we? There we are. We'll put it in there, like that. There we are. And a nice big bowl of hot steaming chili. Whoa, there we are. Yeah, I know. Hi Don. Great to see you. I'm glad you could join us. Have you got cold weather today as well? Or is it just round here?
He's here.
It's here. Ah, so yeah, it's cold and nasty, isn't it? So this is just the right meal for this. We'll put a little of that on. You're just in time for supper. And a little sour cream on the top. Clean round the edge so that it looks nice. And there. That is a nice bowl of chili with some cheese and cornmeal muffins, and have a great weekend. And I'd just like to say, please go on to mrscalabashcooks.com and go on to Mrs. Calabash Cooks Facebook, and for $12 then I will donate. I will just make you a show with your name on it, like the Don Patterson show, and then you could tell me, give me an idea of what recipes you'd like me to cook. And all donations, believe you me, are gratefully received to help us keep us on air. So thank you very much. And on Tuesday we have our chat, sitting round the table. And this week at 7:30 on a Tuesday. And this week I have a really interesting lady. She's local and she makes the most fantastic cakes. And she makes salted caramel. So A cold winter's evening, sitting around with some salted caramel, even if I'm not supposed to eat it, guess who's going to have a piece? So please go onto our website. It is up on Mrs. Calabash Cooks. I've put the website. It's Erin. Have a look at it, and if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask her on baking and cake decoration, please, after 7:30, just write the comments in, and I'll get her to answer them for you. So thank you very much for watching, and have a really great weekend. Bye. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. One line for 20 bucks. Little Tom's playing. Wilburn's playing. And some dimes. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. Little V for 20 bucks. And they were rent. Now that we spent. To buy on 20 bucks.
Okay, we're out.